Okay, I'm going to call to order the September 21st county meeting. Thank you all for being here. A nice big crowd. And I'm going to ask Pat Malone if he'd lead us in invocation.
Heavenly Father, we ask your guidance as we meet tonight in the best interest of our county. We want to give thanks for the wonderful area that we live in. And we give thanks for all the public servants, especially our law enforcement officers, and especially those who serve at great length. We ask for your guidance with Lamar in making decisions that are in the interest of everyone. And we ask these in the name of our Son, Jesus Christ, in whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'm going to ask the Sheriff Department deputies to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and you may be seated. Be a good time to be out robbing a bank right now. Hereby approve the August 17th, 2017 minutes as presented. I think they were in the copies were out there. We're going to start with new business. I've got 2 or 3 proclamations, and so I know it's entertaining and a lot of fun to be at a county meeting and get to hear me, but if you do a proclamation and you feel like you've done your duty to be here, don't feel bad about leaving after it's over. You don't have to stay the whole time, but you're welcome to. I'm going to ask Allison McGraw if she would step up here. Don't look so.
Yeah, I know. Where? Over there by you?
I'm going to read this for you. Allison McGraw was born in LaGrange, Georgia, and she and her husband Charlie moved to Blairsville in 1984, where they opened Appalachian Locksmith. Allison was employed until her retirement in 1996 by the University of Georgia Extension as a family and consumer science agent in Union County. And she has had a profound impact on many lives, both young and old. Allison, often referred to as the 4-H lady, inspired countless youth in school classrooms, helping with CPA and DPA projects. What do those mean?
It's a long story.
Okay. Regional and state competition, 4-H camps, adopt a highway, cleanup projects, and she even prepared 2,000 helium balloons to release for the opening ceremony of the Highway 515 opening. I don't know how many of y'all were here back then.
Yeah, Judy was.
It was a little while ago. Over the years, Allison has taught many different classes and presented programs on a variety of different subjects to the community. And she's been an instrumental volunteer in many professional and civic organizations. Some of these organizations were the Pilot International, American Cancer Society, American Heart Association, Habitat for Humanity, Women's Build, Community Council at Georgia Mountain Research and Education Center, Anota CASA, and the Retired Educators Association only. But we all know Allison for her involvement and dedication in the Relay for Life program each year. Allison is known for her smile, her contagious enthusiasm, her can-do attitude, her compassion and kindness for people and animals, and her comfort, support, and encouragement to anyone that needs it. I hereby proclaim September the 23rd, 2017 as Allison McGraw Day, and ask all citizens to join me in recognizing her service to the community with the thousands of volunteer hours she has donated and her unselfish dedication, unending compassion, and her willingness to help others in any situation. Congratulations, and thank you for volunteering to be here.
Yeah. Trick. It was a trick. Oh, a big trick. Yeah. They promised me food.
Oh.
I guess that's later.
Yeah, I heard you might be getting tricked. Won't be quite as big a surprise to me. I'm going to ask David McGregor if he will come up. You can stand on this side so they can protect you. Anyway, I'm going to read this proclamation that we've done for David McGregor, Appreciation Day, September 21st, 2017. Whereas David McGregor was born April the 15th, 1947 in Quantico, Virginia, where his father was stationed in the Marine Corps. And whereas in 1965, David enlisted in the United States Navy at the age of 17, where he was assigned to the artillery on the USS England, DLD-22. And whereas during his assignment on the USS England, their duty was to control all air operation into and out of Vietnam, including carrier-based aircraft and bombers from Guam and Clark Air Base in the Philippines. And whereas the USS England and crew rescued many pilots and crew that were shot down, but who were able to get back over the water and eject from their aircraft. And whereas in lieu of re-enlistment and attending officer candidate school, David McGregor returned to Atlanta in March of 1968. That's the year I was born. And was sworn in as an Atlanta police officer on September the 1st of the same year, 1968. Whereas during his employment with the Atlanta Police Department, he arrested a Dixie Mafia shooter by the name of Kirksey McCord Nix, who was charged with a contract hit on a federal judge and his wife in Louisiana, of which he was convicted and served every day of a 22-year sentence. And whereas David McGregor and his family moved to Decatur, and based on his move, he left the Atlanta Police Department and started with the DeKalb County Police in 1972, where he remained for the next 27 years. Whereas in the 27 years with the DeKalb Police Department, David McGregor spent many years in the STEP unit, writing tickets and working crashes, as well as special detail that came along. Whereas, while employed there, he was assigned to the Treasury Department for 2 years, part of a statewide STEAM program, and he was assigned to a CID for a short time, but didn't care for being cooped up. Whereas upon retiring in 1998, and obviously not ready to do anything like going to sleep or rest, just add a little ad lib. David McGregor was visiting his mother in Union County and became aware of what was going on to start their own police department. Whereas, after moving here that same year, David McGregor and another retired DeKalb police officer, Steve Davis, started up the Blairsville Police Department, with David running the police department for a short period of time, and both were instrumental in setting up the municipal court and introducing a complete set of ordinances. Whereas in 2011, David McGregor retired from the Blairsville Police Department and became a Union County Deputy Sheriff, where he has been working ever since. Whereas serving over 50 years in public service, 50 years in public service, is a reflection of the passion that David has brought to his career and to the communities he has served. And for that, today we honor him. Now therefore, be it resolved that I, Lamar Parrish, Commissioner of Union County, hereby proclaim Thursday, September the 1st, 2017, is David McGregor Appreciation Day for his many years of public service in the United States Navy, in law enforcement, where he has shown dedication and passion for many individuals and communities, including Blairsville and Union County. So proclaim this 21st day of September 2017.
missed one department. I went with Henry County for 18 months. I got hired with Henry County on the way home from retiring with the cab.
Okay, we missed Henry County. How long did you work with Blairsville Police?
13 years.
13 years.
So, we have a plaque for David. It's an award of appreciation presented to David McGregor, September the 21st, 2017, in appreciation for over 50 years of public service as a police officer and for service in the United States Navy from the Union County Sheriff's Office and all of Union County.
And it just seems like it was last week.
He does have one fault, or he did have. We need to lock our cars as being police. He forgot to lock the vehicle one morning. And one of the deputies was coming to work, and he saw this crow sitting on the side of the road. It didn't fly. Well, that's abnormal. So he stops, and he gets out, and he gets the crow, puts it in his vehicle, comes up. Dave's vehicle is unlocked, so he puts the crow in. When Dave goes out to get in the vehicle and sits down and starts to back up, there's the crow riding with him. Being able to think outside the box, he immediately starts looking around, which everybody was hid real good. So he drives off, and we assume that the crow is still at his house in good health in a bed.
I learned a long time ago, when they get you, go along with it. Play like it didn't happen. Got down the road and turned the crow loose. And apparently he'd been hit by a car, but he got over being idled and he went on about his work. But believe me, I give as good as I get. It's been a great career. It's not quite over yet. They might find me slumped behind a wheel of one of these patrol cars one day. As long as I can be useful, and I plan on staying with it, because Bear here thinks he's going to catch me and do 50 years also, but by the time you do 50, I'll have 60. Well, you can see, who would want to leave that?
Really? Absolutely.
Sheriff, you don't want to stay and listen to him?
You let me speak, I will.
Thanks, Lamar.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not that we don't love you, but we got something else to do.
I can understand. I understand.
I'm good.
Pretty light crowd now, isn't it? This is the meat of the business. Nobody will be here to listen. Okay, I got a couple of other proclamations, but they're a little bit more calm. Item 3 is, I hereby proclaim Constitution Week as being September the 17th through September the 23rd, 2017, with Sunday, September the 17th being Constitution Day. On this day in 1787, the U.S. Constitution Convention signed the Constitution of the United States of America. With this proclamation, we're giving official recognition to this document and the anniversary of its signing. I ask the citizens of Union County to reaffirm the ideas the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through the guardian of our liberties. Item 4 is I hereby proclaim September 22nd, 2017 is National Surgical Technologist Day. For over 60 years, surgical technology has grown to meet the ever-increasing demand for well-educated, highly skilled, and versatile surgical technologists. Over 90,000 surgical technologists nationwide are an integral part of the surgical team committed to providing the highest quality of surgical care to patients, and surgical technologists are responsible for the application of sterile and aseptic technique in the operating room, ensuring that equipment functions properly and facilitating safe and effective conduct during invasive surgical procedures. I urge all fellow citizens to join me in acknowledging the important role of surgical technologists in the care and recovery of their patients. Know a little bit about that one, Mr. Duncan? Item number 5 is our ordinance on second reading. I'll now officially have the second reading of the revised Union County alcohol ordinance. We do not actually read the ordinance, but it is a ceremonial requirement. However, we have the ordinance revision available for you tonight if you have not read it and wish to do so after the meeting, or even during the meeting. There have been no changes since the first reading at the August the 17th county meeting, or since the public hearing that was held on September the 7th. So anytime we have a new ordinance, we introduce it at one county meeting, we have a public meeting 2 weeks later, and then we adopt it at the next county meeting if there's no changes to it, no significant changes to it. If someone wants me to go back over the talking points, we can, but if there are no questions or concerns, I'll move to go to acceptance of the new ordinance. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Good. And then the second part of that is I hereby accept the revision to the revised Union County alcohol ordinance as presented to me by the alcohol board and approved by me now at this meeting. Item 7 is a lease agreement. But before I talk about the lease agreement, I want to make some other comments that I haven't written down. I usually try to write everything down at the county meeting, but you reminded me that it'd be a good time to bring this up. As y'all know, several years, it's actually been almost 3, 2.5, 3, been over 3 years, I believe, since we first bought the property. 4?
Right at 4.
Almost 4 years since we bought the property out, roughly 10 acres out on 515 West, headed toward Blue Ridge for the 4.8 shotgun range. Not to bore everybody, but a lot of things have happened in the interim. Mostly we were tied up for 2 years with an environmental study on a wetland, and then we were tied up another 6 months on a Native American study and some other studies, animal plant studies that had to be done. And in the interim, while all this was going on, we've actually had a meeting out there a few months back that we were ready to start construction, let the bid. But Department of Natural Resources had one more hurdle they wanted to cross that had come up since we had purchased the property and had it engineered, and everything I thought was was set okay. And that one thing was that they wanted a shot fall study. That means when you shoot, where does your shot fall out of the gun? We knew we were on a pretty restrictive site, but we had room, according to our engineer, we had room for 3 complete stations, which is what we had known and accepted the whole time. Well, in the meantime, the development called 1300 that some of you may have heard about, or should have heard about if you haven't, was done in the county. Over the last couple of years, they have done several parcels in the county that they have bought property, subdivided it, cut it up, and sold it. And so in this interim time while all these studies were being done, this property was being swarmed on from the outside with property sales almost adjacent to the property. And not only that, kind of unbeknownst to us during this time, and especially in the last little while, a brand new home was built directly above the shotgun range. And on each side of the home is, I think, 4 or 5 or 6 lots. Again, all above our property. And we had to, so DNR required the shot fall test. So we did the shot fall test, and what it told us was we didn't have enough property on the west side because some of the shot was falling on adjacent property. Not normal shot, but if you were shooting and for some reason you swung the gun to the left, it would get onto the adjacent property. So then they came back to me and said, we're going to have to buy more property. And so the bank had the property. We already knew that we had a new house up above it. We already knew that these lots were developed. There was another house just off to the side of the lot up there. And then I guess the final straw is people got under contract the parcel adjacent to us at the top part of it to get some more lots up there. So even if we were able to buy the property beside us at a reasonable price, which we were not able to buy it at a reasonable price, we're still going to be in the middle of a development now. At the time we did this project and started, there was nothing back there. There was no development. That property had been repossessed by a bank. It was grown up and overgrown, and you know, who would have ever thought in hard times, in 3.5 years later, it would be developed all over with a beautiful development with nice roads and many nice homes and nice lots. So it became abundantly clear that that property was not going to work out for the shotgun range. So that maybe all of the delays that happened along the way, maybe they were for a good reason, and maybe we're supposed to find another site. So that's what we're going to be working on, is finding another site for the shotgun team. It's very disappointing to me, very disappointing Keith and the guys that coaches for the shotgun range, and caused a lot of consternation and worry and negotiations for me. But I finally went back and negotiated with where they used to shoot, and there was 2 property owners involved, and so I spent the last 3 months basically working with these property owners to get a lease on their property for 3 years so that we can once again, and we just got that lease, and that'll be the next 2 items that I bring up. It's 2 adjacent properties. So this will be property with lease for the shotgun team to use up to and including 3 years. We hope that we're going to be on a real search for another piece of property. And as you may have read in the paper, the Sheriff's Department is also coming up with a search committee to find a shooting range for them and for a public place for the county. So there are a lot of things going on, but I had to try to sew something up for our shotgun team. So we have done that, and I've got 2 leases, and that's going to be the next things I'll talk about. Item 7 is I hereby accept this lease agreement between William Lee Wood and Carol L. Wood in Union County for the use of a 5-acre tract of land located in land lot 251, 9th District, 1st section of Union County, to be used as a shooting range. There is no cost to Union County for this lease agreement. And I want to thank Mr. Wood and his wife, because they came to me and said, anything we can do for the kids to help them, we're willing to do it. And so he's worked with us very well, and so we are going to be able to go ahead and go back to where they used to practice a few years, well, actually last year, I guess. But they had lost the use of that property in the interim, but now we've gotten that back, and so that's not item number 7. And then item number 8 is another lease agreement with an adjoining piece of property. I hereby accept this lease agreement between Joel Miller, trustee of the Caldwell Children's Trust, and Union County for ingress and egress along or about the road from Highway 325 to the shooting range located just off the highway. Said access will cross that tract or parcel of land being described in deed book 864, page 300-301. And again, there is no cost to Union County for this agreement. And I just brought this, and nobody's going to really understand it, but it's up here after the meeting if anybody wants to look at it. Basically, this is 325. This is the Caldwell Farm and where this property is located. This is where the access is to the property. This is the access road going into the property. And then there are two parcels here. And one is where the shotgun team will be practicing. Adjacent to that is where the Sheriff's Department has been practicing for their deputies. And I met with the sheriff today, and we're going to reinstate again temporarily until we find a new place. We're going to go ahead and rehab it as well as the old side for the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department to be able to use it for practice. It'll be private only, just for them, and the use of the kids practice, shotgun practice, and then the owner, Bill Wood, he teaches a course out there occasionally. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's a long shot, and this is just I guess long shot's not the word we're talking about. Shooting. But anyway, and here's another plat that goes with it. It's just a close-up of where the shooting range is for the Sheriff's Department and where it's going to be for the county. So those are up here if anybody wants to look at them after the meeting. So now I'm going to do another complicated thing. I'll get all this complication out tonight. Anybody gone to sleep yet, Patrick? You're not asleep yet, are you?
All right.
Okay. It's been a long day, and it was hot today too. If you were out in it, if anybody's seen the top of my head, I feel like I look like that all over. Item 9. Is I hereby accept this agreement. Now, before I go into this, y'all do know that I've been known to occasionally buy a piece of property for the county. And you know, we just purchased a Davenport property adjacent to the farmer's market about, was it last month or the month before?
I think it was maybe 3 months ago.
Maybe 3 months. So we purchased the Davenport property, the 13 acres that join the farmer's market property and join Highway 515. Now, if you come down, let me get you in the vicinity of where I'm going to be talking about. Maybe that'll help you visualize it a little bit. If you come down the Gooch Bypass to the red light there, right next to Hardy's, the Wendy's, then this property right across the road is owned by the Jenkins family. They've owned it. They were raised there back, gosh, in the 40s probably, when that family was all born and raised there. And so I'm not buying all of their property, but we did some exchanging and trading, and I'm going to show you in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and read. I hereby accept this agreement for the purchase, sale, and exchange of real property between Charles Jenkins, Edgar Jenkins, Marilyn Thomason, Kenneth Jenkins, and Patricia Chambers in Union County. And those are all brothers and sisters, or heirs. The real property is located in land lot 269, 9th District, 1st Section of Union County. The Jenkins agreed to transfer to Union County Tract 3 and Tract 4, totaling 1.13 acres. And Union County agrees to transfer to the Jenkins Tract 2, which totals 1.02 acres, along with $35,000 in additional compensation.
Try to.
I'll come over there to you guys. I've got two maps. This is the intersection where Gooch Bypass comes into, and this is 515. So this is the Jenkins property. This little piece that sticks out into here, and all of this right here is all part of the Jenkins family property. All of this back here is the farmer's market and the county property. So we own all of this all the way up to here. We didn't have frontage on the road, and this is property. So what we've agreed to do is make an exchange. We're working with the Department of Transportation right now to get us a entrance at the red light at the Gooch Bypass to come into the farmer's market. Give us an alternate route into the farmer's market property. It'll be safer and get us off of the, as it gets busier and busier, it's harder and harder to get in there. So this will give us access to get in there. So from the Jenkins, we're getting this 0.24 acre little piece right here, so that we'll have direct access to our property, which is right behind that. This little black line you see is a roadway. So we'll be building a road out here. And then this little narrow strip that's left in here was the county property, which wasn't really wide enough to be of any use to us for ball fields or anything else. But sticking into our property right back here was part of the Jenkins property, jutting right into the middle of our parcel. So we traded them this parcel for this parcel. So this will add to their property right here, and then we will have this. And I'll just fill in another map. Here is their parcel that sticks into, here's the farmer's market, and here's their parcel right here that sticks into our property. So we're able to get that parcel, which allows us, this is just a rough rendering, but allows us to be able to have a complex out, a ball complex out here on this property by getting that piece. So these will all be up here and after the meeting, or anytime later on. Anybody has any questions or confusion about it? It was a long, hard, painful, at times, negotiation. And my staff will let you know that it was a big relief when we finally got it completed, because the other family was, you know, thank goodness the Jenkins were willing to work with us and we could make the exchange, but it still required a lot of work and a lot of negotiation. But we did it. It's one of those few times where I think both property owners gained a real advantage because of the property we're able to get. You know, it gives us access now coming in off of 515 at the red light, which will access this property, this Davenport property, plus this property, plus the farmer's market, and then it makes their property a little bit wider and a little bit better for access. Plus, if we build a road in there, they'll be able to use that road to access their parcel, which they'll be trying to sell. Yes.
The original parcel that we purchased had frontage, but it was up further. It wasn't at the red light. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
We still got that frontage.
Okay.
This
But now we have
this
red
is
light
just
frontage.
an additional frontage at the red light. Yes. Okay, and item number 10, I hereby approve resolution R 2017-13, adopting the records retention schedule for local government records established by the Secretary of State's office. These revisions became effective on April the 5th, 2017. The schedule established is the length of time local government must maintain records of its agencies and departments. Some of our records we have to maintain 3 years, some 7 years, some we have to maintain forever. And the state makes changes periodically, and we just adopt to those what their changes are that they requested. It's a little document. And item 11 is a road acceptance. I hereby accept Lee Harkins Road into the county maintained road system. The property owners have given us the right of way. This roadway is only 425 feet long with 6 houses. It is off Copperhead Road, then off Nichols Circle, and then Lee Harkins Road. That is all the official business. I've got a couple of notes here, and then I'll open it up in case anybody has any questions. We're proud to have the unveiling of the Native American monument, the stickball player, as part of the We Are Still Here celebration today. There was a ceremony to welcome home 3 Native American tribes to Georgia that were part of the tribes moved to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears in 1817. We really appreciated several of the tribes and chiefs attending from Oklahoma at the service today. The unveiling of the beautiful monument in Meeks Park was to symbolize the acknowledgement that at one time these mountains were inhabited by the Indians and that some of their ancestors still reside here and that they are welcome to come anytime to visit their ancestors' birthplace here and in several other Georgia counties. We're finishing up, and that's the end of that. So it was a very hot day, but it was great weather, and it was a very nice ceremony. And if you go into Meeks Park and make the left-hand turn, the statue's kind of up on the left, below the first pavilion up there. And it's really, if you get out and go up, if you stop at the pavilion on top, the very first pavilion, past the basketball courts when you first go in, that's the best way to see it. Go there and then walk out, and you can just walk right down the hill and look at it, because it doesn't look big or impressive from a distance, but it is a beautiful work of art that they did. And this group, the We Are Still Here, which is a group that was founded from our leadership union group, they've been working on this for 3.5 years, I think. And it was a great ceremony today. And anyway, go by and see the statue. You'll be impressed, I think. We're finishing up a surface treatment paving and continue to finish pothole work and some additional asphalt paving. I planned on having you a paving list this week, this meeting, as I had planned the last 2 meetings to have you a paving list. So we have not had a paving list yet, and it's mostly because the last 2 meetings, and this one included, there was so much we had to do at the end, we just didn't get it done. So the next meeting, we will have a paving list of all the roads that we paved this year in the county. As you know, while we had several trees down and significant power outages, we escaped what could have been a much greater impact. Most of our damage occurred in the Choistoy, Track Rock, Altown sections, and in Suches. Thanks to all the first responders, volunteers, county employees, Caldwell Detention Center detainees and officers, GDOT, and of course Blue Ridge Mountain EMC, we were able to clean up the mess. We were very fortunate that nobody in the county got injured or hurt from this. We did have one house they talked about earlier. It's just off of the Track Rock Road. There's one home that a tree actually penetrated the roof and did a tremendous amount of damage. And they were saying tonight that house may be totaled. Don't know, but other than that, there was one house in Suches that a limb penetrated the roof, but it wasn't real bad. And then there were several small, that we're aware of at least, where a tree might have leaned against a house, or it might have leaned against a garage, or one of those metal. We had a couple of those metal portable garages. I think a couple of them got dented a little bit, but all in all, we were really blessed. And there are still many thousands of people that have been negatively impacted. by the succession of hurricanes, the earthquake in Mexico, Houston, Texas area. And so let's all keep these folks in our prayers. At this time, I'm going to adjourn the meeting and ask if anybody has any public comment period. So anybody have any questions or comments about anything? Gosh, no questions, no comments. Well, thank y'all all very much for being here and listening to me for a long time tonight. We're still getting out pretty good, about 45 minutes. You're dismissed.